Alrighty, hello humans. So today I'm gonna work on a little bit of Markdown hacking. I need to fix my WordPress to Gatsby export because it's doing a couple of things wrong, and I was trying to fix it with global find and replace regex, and that just doesn't work. It's not scaling and it keeps breaking shit. The main problem is this little thing. You can see that HTML entities are getting escaped in URLs, which then breaks Gatsby imports and the magic Gatsby Markdown plugins. So I'm gonna try to here where I'm parsing HTML from an XML and then moving it into Markdown. I'm gonna try to add a little custom plugin that's going to fix the other stuff. And while I'm there, hey Fuzzy buddy, I'm doing pretty well, Fuzzy. How are you doing today? So while I'm there, I'm gonna also fix it so that if code blocks don't have types, it automatically it adds a type and guesses JavaScript, and I'll see if I can figure out anything else. But probably that should be the only thing I'm working on today. So let's give that a shot. It's been a while since I made a Markdown plugin, so I might struggle a little bit. I'm also not sure exactly how we're gonna test this, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm gonna start with use. I used to have a cleanup post. Let's actually git log, remove HTML entities, git status. So I'm gonna show you how I used to be doing it. Let's see, git diff convert.js. What did I change here? So basically, what I changed was that instead of HTML entities decode of the entire Markdown, oh, you can't see that. Let me move this. Now you can see it. Okay, you should be seeing that. Quarantine is going surprisingly well, Fuzzy buddy. I'm basically, just staying home, doing mostly the usual thing except working from home. How about you? What are you up to in quarantine? So basically this HTML entities decode and this entities escape needs to change to something a little bit better. So we're gonna, and also there's not gonna be any more cleanup post because I'm gonna do that while properly processing Markdown. So we're gonna take post data here, and we are stringifying, parsing HTML, rehype to remark. Then we're going to use cleanup, let's call it article cleanup, and then we're going to look for post cleanup. Come on, cleanup. So this cleanup post is going to change into a Markdown plugin. We're gonna say, what did we call it? Cleanup, no, article cleanup, is that what we called it? Article cleanup. And actually let's import that from a new file so that the code is a little bit more organized. We're gonna go here and say const article cleanup equals require / article cleanup. I'm not writing any tests, but this would help me write tests as well. Is Prettier not gonna do stuff? Prettier's working. What's Fuzzy buddy doing? Working on some projects right now. What kind of projects are you working on, Fuzzy? So new file, and we say module.exports. How do I do exports again in Node? Module.exports equals article cleanup, and then function article cleanup is going to be a function that is going to do stuff. Article cleanup.js. Now I'm gonna look up, what am I gonna look up? I know I've written about this before, so let's see if I can find an article about it. Fuzzy, Kiwi, we actually sent Kiwi to the Bird Hotel a couple days ago because Morgan got tired of him. There we go. Custom Markdown extensions with remark and hast. Perfect. So this is gonna help me see. Here's another example of where the export wasn't working. So yeah, we sent Kiwi to the Bird Hotel, so we don't have to deal with him right now. And yeah, that's So we've had a lot of peace and quiet, basically, is what I'm saying. Okay, so how to build a remark plugin to supercharge your blah. My link to screenshot. Okay, so that's what I need. I'm gonna need to, what's the node version I'm using here? Can I use, let's see if I can actually, no I can't. So we're gonna say const visit equals require unist util visit, which is a helper for making Markdown plugins. We're gonna yarn add unist util visit. So this is gonna help me visit particular nodes. So then for article cleanup, we can say, let's see, 34 lines, blah, there we go. So we are gonna get the 3, right? God damn it. How does this... So this is why I need to fix syntax highlighting in my articles on the new blog, because this is very silly. Oh, I get mark URL thumbnail. So I need to return 3, and that 3 is going to be a function that is going to do stuff. So we get the 3, then in the 3 we are visiting every, let's see, where is it? Cleanup post. Did I delete it already? Yes, I did. So I'm gonna get it back just so that I know what else I need to do. Article cleanup, blah. So cleanup post, this is my guide from before. So we're going to visit every paragraph, and for each of those paragraphs we're going to get a node, and for that node we're gonna do what? I feel like, oh no, I have a better example somewhere. Let's see, I know I've done this before and it was easier than what I'm looking at right now, so I'm gonna look at some of my older code. Giphy, Gatsby remark Giphy, there we go. Fuzzy asks if I'm still running workshops. Yes, I still run them occasionally. I'm not, I don't do it as often as I used to, but I totally should do more of them. I'm thinking about doing more online workshops, but I haven't really started organizing them yet. Okay, so we export that cache markdown AST, so we get the markdown AST. Yeah, so markdown AST, that's gonna make it a little easier to see what's going on. And then for each node we are going to, so we're visiting every paragraph, and for each paragraph we're gonna do what? Each paragraph we're basically going to return a HTML entities escaped. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So here, and do we return that, or what do we do with the node? Transformations, push, visit, return node, and yeah, we just changed the node, so we say node.text, right, let's see, nodes to change, then node type, screenshot, node URL, I think it's node text. Where do I see all of the types? Fuzzy, you should not do anything in Perl. Perl is kind of a terrible language to work with, at least from what I remember of ever looking at it. So let's see. Unist node types. Will that work? Syntax tree. What is this called? Slugify, remark, rehype. Remark node types, remark node types. So this problem here is that this is kind of, it's kind of an obscure topic to be searching for, so it's hard to it's hard to figure out exactly how it works, and I don't think there's any there's no like spec from, at least from what I remember. Creating plugins, npm search, GitHub search, list spectrum, ideas, concept of plugin, guide on creating a plugin with unified, plugin basics, a unified plugin, setting up, yeah. So I've got all of that. Then we, so that's the transformer that we're returning. And where do we see node types? Paragraph, visit paragraph node. Don't forget to, if we now run the blah, is it paragraph node in unist util is, how does this shit work? So paragraph node with the visitor, that's our visitor. Okay, let's try paragraph node instead of paragraph, that might be helpful. Where do I see unified, there we go, unified explore, remove exports, that seems interesting. Learn, explore, learn, God damn it. Okay, so there's no list of node types, which would be super useful. No. Introduction to syntax trees. How can I see what we have? Let's try console logging every node. Okay, console log node, and I'm gonna create a simpler XML file to play with. Hey Magdi, I'm doing pretty well. I'm trying to remember how to build a remark plugin or a Markdown plugin or whatever you want to call it, and kind of struggling a little bit, but we're gonna get there. How are you doing? Where do I tell it? Convert.js, export full XML. But if we look at, do I have an export XML? wc-l export.xml is pretty long. Export.xml. Let's actually, I'm gonna get a new export file that has just a couple of posts so that it's going to be easier to develop this stuff, because I don't want to run it on 1400 lines on 1400 articles every time I want to test a change. So we're going to make a smaller file, and let's change this into a file, into an argument. File, process export. With that, I'm gonna go into plugins, users, tools, setting, plugins, no? What? Export, ConvertKit, permalinks, media, general. How did I, oh, tools, there we go. How did I forget how to export WordPress? So we're going to take posts from, let's say, when was this one created that I'm looking at here? This is a good example because it has a bunch of problems. Does it? HTTP, yes. So this one has a bunch of problems and it's from April 2019. So that's what we're gonna get. Start date April 2019, end date April 2019. Download export file. Hey Miha, how's Slovenia these days? I heard that you're ending the quarantine today. Was that right? Is that just rumors on Twitter, or did that actually happen? Alright, so we are exporting this stuff. Doing here, And now if I run my conversion script, I should get a bunch of console logs with our node so that we can see what the nodes look like. So I'm gonna run yarn convert and we should get a bunch of stuff. Bam. Typo right away. Okay, fix the typo, try running that again. And okay, yes, we're gonna need to run any connection for, let's say, 2 hours. And let's see, where are my unhandled, invalid URLs? That's fine. I'm trying to, oh, is it gonna have to actually run through that first? That's gonna be annoying to test, because I suddenly can't see, I couldn't see any console logs. Processing post, what I loved, trying the new resize observer. Okay, let's see, is article cleanup even running? So how do I do that? Down here, when we do Markdown, let's console log a hello there, just to make sure we're even getting here. And then inside article cleanup, we're gonna run hello from article cleanup. And hopefully that's gonna be useful. Yarn convert. Okay, so does that mean you still have to shelter in place, but you just don't have to go, you don't have to stay within your municipality? Or does it mean you can like just do whatever? Okay, so what about from in here? So we got to the article cleanup part. Do we get in here at all? I can also remove that because we know it happened. Let's see if we do run the Markdown AST thing. Cool, that does run, which then means that what if we run that? Instead of paragraph node, we say paragraph and we say hello from article cleanup in there. Let's see if that's gonna work. Does it? Yay! Okay, it's getting paragraphs. Nice. So we are here. We got the paragraphs, and now we know that paragraphs have children of type text and then value, which means we might be able to run it directly visit all of the text nodes rather than all of the paragraph nodes. And yes, that worked. So we can actually go directly into every text node, which means we can then, what do we do then? So we can change the node text, node.text equals HTML entities dot, what did I have before? Let's do git diff of convert.js. Let's see, I used to have HTML entities dot decode. So we say HTML entities dot decode of node.text. And then do we have to return the node, or can we just, what was I gonna say? Can we return the node, or do we have to actually, or is that enough, just changing it? So I'm gonna look at here. Here I am returning nodes. So we're gonna return it, return node. So that's going to escape all of the text. Yeah. The next step is going to be looking for all of the code. We need to find everything that is a code block, code fence. Actually, let's try first if this works. So I'm going to yarn convert, and then I'm gonna go into swizards.com, and so that's my new block setup. And I'm going to remove all of the articles, source pages, blog, everything except index.mdx. So we remove all of that stuff. Then we get checkout master minus minus source pages index blog slash index.mdx. Okay, so now I exported everything. Something errored out. What was it? Cannot read property replace of undefined. Okay, so this doesn't work. Why? Let's console log the nodes again and see what's going on there. Yarn convert. Because type text, because we actually have to transform the value, not the text. Okay. So yarn convert, this is now going to convert a month of articles from April 2019 from XML, Magdi, you're right, no dot value. So this is converting everything. Then I'm gonna copy it over to my Gatsby project. Then I'm gonna run Gatsby and verify that this worked. It's not the most, the simplest of processes, but it should be fine because we limited everything to a month of articles, so it should be relatively fast. We're now gonna see if it is actually relatively fast. Okay, so create pages, that's running. Cool. Okay, in progress. It's a good sign. Well, it's only 13 pages now, so it should be pretty quick. But is it pretty quick? That's the real question. Because I think building my entire blog takes about it takes literally over half an hour, which I think is going to be a problem when I'm publishing, but I'm hoping that Gatsby's new incremental builds feature is going to fix that for me and make it, relatively pleasant. So we're now gonna test if cleaning up HTML entities is working. Come on. Success, that succeeded. Let's go to localhost 8000. We should get a homepage under construction, wonderful. If I go to /blog, we get these ones. And we were looking at custom Markdown extensions with remark. So that should be in here somewhere, custom Markdown extensions. Cool. Okay, so the paragraphs part didn't work, and neither did the so nothing worked. Awesome. Now why did nothing work? First off, it looks like we have to replace yeah, see, all of the URLs still look like this, which is not great at all, but at least there's no backslashes before imports anymore. That's better. So why isn't this working? Like, why is it failing to, hey, Werther's Original, I love that nickname, that is a fun nickname. Are you actually Werther's Original? So let's see. Why is article cleanup not working correctly? Why are... let's try console logging the entire Markdown AST and seeing what we get from that. It's gonna be super painful, but let's give it a shot. Console. And also, why aren't HTML entities getting decoded? So let's try. Whoa, see? Oh no, that one's fine. But this is just weird. Like, why do Twitter and YouTube links look like that? That's wrong. So let's console log the entire Markdown AST each time. Run yarn convert again and see what happens. And honestly, I've had so much trouble with this WordPress to Markdown exporter that I'm thinking of turning this into a service running on Lambdas and charging for it. That sounds like something people would pay for, right? Like getting all of their Markdown converted. Okay, so let's... Okay, so we have root, and then it has paragraphs, and those paragraphs are hidden from us, which is annoying. How do I console log everything? Node console log full object. Oh, nice. Profiling project. Why can't I remember exactly what that was? Can you refresh my memory, Wordpress original? So I'm gonna need this. Const util require util. Bam. And then we're going to console log this. Util inspect markdown AST. Run this shit again. Yarn convert, and then we're going to hopefully see what's actually getting in here. Let me make this a little taller so it's easier to see. We're now looking for a for the root element. Where is it? Root, where are you, root? Yeah, come on. Oh, you know what? I can search for root. And go backwards, and there we go. So we get a value markdown. It's amazing, HTTPS. So this is not escaped. Interesting. Value markdown is all the rage these days. So this is working fine, except this paragraph is way too big, because if you go look at my original article on, let's look for Swizz has remark. Oh yeah, users' behavioral patterns on YouTube. That sounds exciting. Okay, so custom. You see here, if I say Markdown is all the rage these days, it was actually multiple paragraphs, right? So what do we have to do to fix that? So we have tech letter app is a link, but then why is YouTube not a link? Type text. Okay, so this is a paragraph which has all of these children. How do we split a paragraph into multiple paragraphs? That's going to be an interesting problem to solve, but first I want to figure out why is this getting converted. Actually no, let's try, should we try splitting this stuff first? Maybe. Or I can use this dirty trick, and before we parse HTML, what is parse HTML? So that's actually a thing here where we push in the post data. Yes, let's do that. So post data, markdown. Here I can do a dirty trick and replace all of the double new lines into paragraphs. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna say replace. I'm gonna take this stuff, and this is not proper markdowning, but it is going to help. So we're gonna yarn convert again, and now we're gonna get better paragraphs at least, and then we can still figure out, there we go. Then next step is figuring out those HTML entities and URLs. So this is now working better. You see it got everything into its own paragraphs. So now let's see, this is an empty paragraph. Even Facebook supports it. It's increasingly popular. There we go. So we have this text. What is changing this https://YouTube into this crap? That's what I'm interested in. How do I figure that out next? Because it's clearly, let's see, is this actually a colon? does look like a colon. What if I paste it here? So that's that one. If I write my own, it looks different, doesn't it? Can't tell if that's a different different thing or not. Oh, Magdi, I had no idea that console.dir existed, or I forgot. So if we go here and when we're stringifying, we don't do anything with entities, what happens? Resolve markdown contents.trim. Let's try replacing stuff. So we are decoding all of the entities, first of all, then we can say no.value equals no.value.replace. We're going to replace all of these. So HTTPS, which may or may not be there, we're going to replace all of those with actually, let's just do it this way. So all of the HTTPS with that weird colon or colon, I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm going to replace those with HTTPS with the normal ones and do the same for HTTP because I don't know why it's acting weird. So now I'm going to see what happens. Let's run yarn convert. Copy paste it into YouTube search should give you the Unicode ASCII of it. That's a good idea. Let's see what actually happens. Or was it? Let's see first what happens here. So I'm gonna try yarn convert, and if that still doesn't work, we're gonna try with the. Do I still have it? Maybe I still have it in the clipboard. So we remove every. No, let's copy, and if I paste it in, no, I deleted it. Okay, so now we do yarn start, and let's see what happens. Go here. So now it's going to rerun Gatsby, render, parse, or render the HTML that I have. And hopefully this time it's going to work correctly because this thing is kind of crazy. Let's see. And I can also, in the meantime, look up what this actually is. So what is this HTML entity at all? It's a Unicode. Oh, interesting. It looks like it's a non-printing. Oh no, it says colon X3A. What is X3A? Complete list of ASCII key codes. X3A. So it says it's supposed to be the normal one. Let's see if we reload this page. Okay, this worked. So it now looks correct, which is fine. It's great that it looks correct. It's not great that my embedder plugins couldn't detect it. So that's weird. Why couldn't the embedder plugins find this one? What are embedder plugins looking for? That's the next question. So let's look at, what am I using? I'm using the Gatsby plugin embedder, I think. Gatsby remark embedder. Let's see what that what is the node that one is actually looking for? Well-known services by their URL, yes. Okay, view plugin on GitHub. So this one says that, oh nice, it actually supports Giphy. So it says that we just need to paste the URL into our article and it should just work. So why isn't it? Tries to solve this problem for you by letting you just copy paste the link to the whatever from within your browser into a separate line surrounded by empty lines and replace it with the proper embed code. Okay, so what is it actually looking for? If we go into source, transformers, and actually let's look at index.js. Oh, by the way, is this not zoomed in enough? Can you actually read what I'm doing? So let's see, how is it looking at? It's looking for paragraphs, and it's looking if it's a valid link if there's no title and the value is the same as the URL. Aha. So we have to, I think we have to convert them into, so is text, if node type is text. Downspeed drops, that's not great. So if it's not text and it's not a valid link, what? Okay, let's see now what happens. Let's console log this stuff again and then try to figure out what the embedder is actually looking for and make sure that that's what we're creating when we are parsing the what's it called? Oh yeah, pick 9117. I did actually move office. I moved to a new place in November, so I now have a different office. I'm still working on decorating that wall next to me, but other than that, the office is actually really neat. Maybe I should do a walkthrough someday. I don't know. I don't feel, it doesn't quite feel big enough for a walkthrough, but it is a pretty cool office. Okay, so let's see. Let's try to find one with, it's the end of Q1. Markdown is all the rage. Okay. Thanks, Pick. I'm super excited about the new office. There's a lot more space. I can like stretch out my arms without touching walls, which is super nice. So let's see, where did they put the YouTube link? It's after Markdown for content heavy apps. Markdown for content heavy apps. There we go. Markdown for content heavy apps. So we have a text with this value. Okay, so now when we go here, what is this expecting? It's visiting every paragraph, then it's making sure that this is the only, so it's taking the first and only child from the paragraph. And it's checking that the node type is text, which it is. Then it's also checking that it's a valid link. It's a valid link. Interesting. What? Nice. So node type link and node title null. So I think I have to change this into a, do we have an example of a link? Link. Yeah, so we have to change it into this kind of thing, right? I just don't understand how the node type can be both text and link at the same time. That doesn't make any sense. But let's try changing them into links, right? What's the worst that can happen? Okay, so we get these nodes. Node value is blah. So we're going to check if it's actually a link. We're going to change it into a proper link node, the same way as here. So let's see. If node.value starts with HTTP, then we're going to say node.type equals link and node.url equals it's a valid link if there's no title and the value is the same as the URL. Okay, so we're gonna say yeah, I don't understand this at all, but let's try. So node URL we say is node.value, then we say node.title is null, and I think that should work. Maybe let's add a child as well, just to be sure. So we're going to add, say node dot oh, you're right. If it's not text and it's not a valid link. Good call, Mehdi. I keep forgetting that this is actually an or when both of them are negated. I think my Flux is starting to act up. Is my screen looking orange or am I imagining that? But let's try doing it this way anyway. So it's a link. We say node.children equals, and we're going to create a children node. Where is it? Text link, line 1, column. Yeah, should be fine. So we're gonna say node.children is type text value node.url, and that's it. Now let's see if that makes our or my embedder happier. So I'm gonna run yarn convert again, and let's see what happens. Yarn convert. Okay. Maximum call stack exceeded. That sounds fun. Wait, why did it exceed the maximum call stack? That wasn't great. I wonder if it's now going back and forth. Okay, so we got that. I can look at the actual markdown that got outputted. If we go build better software, theory of constraints. So we were looking at custom markdown extensions, image. Wait, what? Why is there no file now? ls out. Yeah, I do have night mode enabled, but for some reason I use Flux, but Flux vanished, so I think it crashed. Custom markdown. Why is there? Okay, so now it's not returning anything. That's interesting. Let's try not doing that. Okay. Yarn convert again. Yarn convert. Let's see why. If we can figure out, I think adding children was cannot read property length of undefined. So something is definitely breaking now in the process of creating this markdown. Something is getting confused. ls out custom. See, there should be an index mdx file, but there isn't one. So I'm doing something weird. Let's see. Let's console log just these nodes and see what happens. And when we do that, let's run yarn convert now. And now we should get, so those are our text nodes that are just links, right? Okay, so should transform URL string. So now if I look at ls out custom, you see now we have index mdx. Let's see what that actually looks like. What does it create? Index mdx looks like proper Markdown to me, but there's definitely too much stuff here, and it again did this stupid shit. Why? So why is something changing that afterwards? It looks like my link fixing isn't actually working. So why isn't my link fixing working? Is it something about string? Oh, I think it's because they're not links. What happens if I actually change the node type to a link and we add a node title as null, but then we do have to add children. So let's look at if there's any Unity utility for that. Unist util. There might be something. Unist util visit, unist util select. Let's see, utility to visit nodes. Syntax tree. Awesome syntax tree. Unist. Let's see, curated list of awesome syntax tree, blah. So unist utilities, visit, map, filter, remove, select, inspect, assert, find more utilities. So we need find after, find all, flat map, generated, inspect, modify direct children of a parent, get position, reduce, remove, select, size, source, stringify, visit parents, builder. So this recursively walks over nodes, which is the most useful one. How do I use this to actually change its type? By mapping to an array with remove nodes from a tree that pass a test, select nodes. So map looks like it would be useful. Perm value changed. Yeah, let's try that. That might work better. So instead of visit, I'm going to use unist util map, and let's add that. Yarn add unist util map. So now I'm trying to be better about correctly changing. Oh, but this goes through all of them. So visit might still be better. This function works exactly the same as visit parents, but visitor has a different signature. That's a good point. Maybe I do have to check that node value exists. Yeah, let's try that. So, great recommendation, Magdi. I also could probably just look at what the actual, you know, what's the actual error. So we need a link, we need to say that it doesn't have a title, and we need to create children which have an array, and that needs to be a type text, which also needs to we need to also check that, yeah, alright, so node.url needs to be the previous node.value. And I think what happened here was that we created infinite recursion, because I'm creating a text node that has a value that is a URL, which means that the next time that visit runs, it's going to keep recursing. So what we need to do is add another check. So we're gonna say value is also node.value. So that's our URL. But we're also going to add let's add a flag that says don't change this. So what should be the flag? Don't recurse. Nah, don't. Oh, can we get to a parent from a node? Parent. An array of ancestors. Visit is invoked with the node's index and its parent. So node index parent, which means here we can check if node value, and node value starts with blah, and parent.type is not a link. So if this is a text node that isn't a link, we're not going to try to change it into a link, and that should work. So let's try that. Yarn convert, and let's see if this causes infinite recursion as well. Seems to be working fine so far. Maybe Magdi says maybe just replace the node with a node that is already parsed correctly. That's a good point, but I don't have a node that's already parsed correctly, or at least not that I know of. Let's see. So this is now running. It did the thing, and index MDX seems to work. So these have now become weirdo links. Interesting. I don't know what this syntax is, but let's try what happens. So I'm gonna run my copy that stuff over, run yarn start again, and now let's see what happens. Wow, my internet speed keeps dropping and coming back. That's really weird. All right. So this is running. In progress. This should now run. Did it run? Oh, I should probably also go have dinner and start hanging out with my girlfriend. It's almost 8 p.m. But I want to get this working. Come on. In progress. Please work now. Come on. Still in progress. You can do this, computer. Computer success. Let's see if this worked. Yes, it worked. See, we have an embedded YouTube. It's a little weirdly shaped, but that's fine. We have an embedded Twitter, and this is still something I need to fix. But we got the main thing that I wanted to get working today working. So thanks everyone for watching, and I will see you again probably on Sunday at the usual Sunday 2 p.m. We're gonna continue on this WordPress migration project, but this was a great success. My export now works more correctly, or not my export, my conversion. So yes, thanks for your help everyone, and have a lovely evening. Bye.